All right, so negative 2 with no parentheses cubed. Negative. Negative 2 with no parentheses to the fourth power.
Negative.
Negative. It does not matter what exponent it has if it does not have parentheses. What about negative 5 cubed?
Negative.
Negative. Negative 1 to the sixth power.
Positive.
Negative k to the fourth power.
Positive.
Negative m to the fourth power squared.
Positive.
Positive. G.
Negative.
Negative. H.
Positive.
Positive. And I.
Negative.
Negative. Alright. I want to skip for a second. Skip 2 pages ahead to the exponent rules review page. It looks like this.
Oh, okay.
So let's review everything that we've learned so far about exponents. In the first one, it says combining like terms. So that means you are just adding or subtracting the like terms. You do not change the exponents. So for number 1, what does 5x squared combine with?
9x.
And combines to make what?
4x squared. Negative 4x squared.
It's you're adding 5x squared plus 9x squared.
14.
So 14x squared. Then negative 6x and positive 10x plus 4x. Positive 2 and negative 7 minus 5.
Yeah.
Any questions about combining like terms? Let's skip down to number 5. So now we are multiplying same base with different exponents. What do I do to the exponents?
Add them.
Add them. So it's 2 to the 3 plus 5 power, which is
8.
2 to the 8th power. Number 8. You subtract whenever you are dividing them. So m to the 4th power over m. Subtract the exponents and you get m to what power?
3.
The 3rd power. X cubed over x squared.
X.
Just
1.
x to the 1st power, just x. And then w to the 8th power over w squared.
6.
W to the 6th power. Any questions about that? Multiplying or dividing? Okay. Exponent rule number 3. Let's look at number 11. What is m to the 0 power?
1.
1. Skip down to number 14. What do I do when an exponent is negative?
Make it a denominator.
We're going to put it in the denominator with a 1 on top. So 1 over x cubed. And the last thing that we learned, number 17, we have a power to a power. So we put this 3 with everything in the parentheses first. So negative 3, which, let's look at this. Negative 3 started off in the parentheses. So when I redo this, it's negative 3 in parentheses cubed. X to the 4th power cubed, p to the 5th power cubed, and m to the 3rd power cubed. So what is negative 3 cubed?
Negative 3 cubed. Positive 3 cubed.
No, that's negative. Negative. Thank you. Negative 27.
Oh.
X to the 4th power raised to the 3rd power.
X to the 7th power. 12th power.
4th power raised to the 3rd power would be 12. You multiply. And then p to what power? 15th. And m to the 9th. So when you have a power raised to a power, make sure you are multiplying the 2 powers together. Any questions about that? Okay, so let's go backwards. We are not learning any new rules today. Those rules are the only rules that there are. There are no more rules. So today what we are doing is we are putting all of the rules together into one problem. So, with that said, there is no set order of operations here. You can kind of do this how you want to do it. You can like divide and then multiply and then simplify, whatever makes you happy. I'm going to do the way that I think is the easiest, so just kind of follow along here. First, let's simplify by taking this 2 and putting it in the parentheses. There's no exponent on the first set, so I'm just going to copy that one down as is. The second one, I'm going to give this 2 to everything in the parentheses. So x cubed squared, y squared. Faith. Now simplify your power to a power. So I have x cubed squared. So when I have a power to a power, what do?
Multiply.
Multiply. So 4x squared y times x to the 6th power y squared. And then what should we do next?
Combine like terms.
By which operation?
What?
Adding.
Well, you're multiplying the bases, so you're adding the exponents. So this is going to be equal to 4x to what power? 8. And y to what power? 3. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, number 2. Again, let's start by bringing the exponent to everything in the parentheses. So 5 squared, x squared squared, y cubed squared. And then in the second part, bring the 3 to everything in the parentheses. So negative 2 cubed, x cubed, y to the 4th power cubed. What is 5 squared?
25.
25. X squared squared, x to the 4th. Y cubed squared,
Y 6.
y to the 6th. Negative 2, which should be in parentheses because it was in parentheses here. Negative 2 cubed.
Negative 8.
Negative 8. And then we just have x cubed, y to what power? 12. Now we can go ahead and multiply. So 25 times negative 8.
28 cents. A quarter.
200, negative 200.
Negative 200. You have 8 quarters, that's $2. Yeah. And then combine your x's. So x to the 4th times x to the 3rd gives me
X7.
x to the 7th. And y to the 6th and y to the 12th? Y to the 18th. Alright, number 3. Go ahead and bring that 2 to everything in the parentheses. So negative 2 squared, x to the 4th power squared, y to the 5th power squared, into the 0 power squared. And the second set also gets a square. So 3 squared, x squared, m cubed squared. What is negative 2 squared?
Negative 4.
It's going to be positive 4. X to the 4th power squared.
8.
X to the 8th. Y to the 5th power squared.
10.
Y to the 10th. M to the 0 power squared.
1.
So m to the 0 power squared is m to the 0 power still. We'll simplify that in a second. 3 squared.
Wait. 6. 9.
9. And then x squared. And then m cubed squared. 6. Now combine. So 4 times 9.
36.
Who said 21? X to what power? 10. And m to what power?
6.
6. And I forgot the y. Y to what power?
10.
10. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, number 4. With number 4, I suggest simplifying by division first and then bringing that 2 in, the exponent in. So if I simplify first, 2 over 6 reduces to what?
1 over 3.
1 over 3. X to the 4th doesn't combine with anything, so I'm just going to write that down. P to the negative fifth, again, does not combine with anything. What about m to the negative 1 over m cubed?
M2.
No.
Denominator.
No.
Wait, but the positive.
Negative 1 minus 3,
Negative 4.
negative 4.
Oh.
And this is all raised to the second power. So, I can kind of forget about this 1 in front. That's unnecessary. I don't need to write a 1 times something. Then I have x to the 4th squared, p to the negative 5th squared, m to the negative 4th squared, over 3 squared. Well, we haven't moved to them yet. And then simplify that. So x to what power? X to the 8th, p to the negative 10, m negative 8, and what is 3 squared?
9.
9. Good job. All right. And then what's the last step that I need to take here?
Bring down the negatives.
Bring down the negative exponent. So we're going to bring those both down to the bottom. So this equals x to the 8th power over 9p to the 10th power m to the 8th power. Alright, number 5. I'm going to suggest multiplying first, then dividing. So, multiply across first. 5 times 4 gives us 20. X doesn't combine with anything, so that stays to the negative 5th power. Same thing with y, that stays to the 3rd. What about p? P to what power? 6. Over, 2 doesn't combine with anything, and then the rest of this doesn't combine with anything. So I'm just going to rewrite that. Now you can simplify by division. So 20 over 10 reduces to 10. X to the negative 5th over x cubed. So we're subtracting negative 5 minus 3. Negative 8. Y cubed over y. 3 minus 1. Just positive 2. And p to the 6th over p to the 5th.
P1.
Just p, or p to the 1st. And then how do I need to simplify this? Bring the negative exponent down. So 10y squared p at the top over x to the 8th power at the bottom. Any questions about these? Alright, start the understanding check. So you leave that first set of parentheses exactly as it is because there was no exponent on the outside. What does the second set turn into? M squared G14. And then we combine, so I'm going to have 5m to what power?
8.
Good. B, we need to take this cubed and put it on everything in the parentheses. So what is 2 cubed? 8. And then x to the 3rd, y 12. Times, we put the square on everything in the parentheses. So negative 3 squared turns into?
Negative
9.
9.
X.
8.
Good. Now combine 8 times 9.
72.
X.
X 11, Y 16.
Y to the 16th. Good.
I was close.
C. Bring that 2 into everything in parentheses. So 4 squared is
16.
16. Do I need to write the x to the 0 power?
No.
No. Y cubed squared.
Y6.
Y to the 6. And m
4.
to the 4th. What is negative 3 to the 4th power?
81.
Positive 81. X to the
4.
4th. And m
20.
to the 20th. So combined, do y'all know what 16 times 81 is?
97.
1,296.
What?
Jesus Christ.
How do you get 97?
So 1,296, x to the 4th, y to the 6th, m to the 24th.
I thought you add them. I got 97.
There's a multiplication sign.
Miss Landry, does it matter what order you put the exponents in?
The
Because I put the m before the y.
No, it doesn't matter. Most people put them in alphabetical order, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, D. So let's go ahead and simplify D first. So 12 over 4
3.
is 3. M to the 4th over m to the 5th.
1.
M to the negative 1. P to the negative 2 over P.
Negative 1.
No.
I mean, negative 3.
Yes. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And then x to the negative 3. And all of that is cubed. So, 3. What is 3 cubed? 27. M to the negative 1 cubed is m to the negative 3. P to the negative 3 cubed is p to the negative 9. X to the negative 3 cubed, x to the negative 9. Then what do I need to do? Move all of the negatives. So 27 over m cubed, p to the 9th, x to the 9th. Is this on your paper?
Yes. No. It's wrong, but
You're going to get a tracking form. It needs to be on your paper. The work and the answer. Not just the answer. Alright, E, I would multiply first. So negative 6 times 2 gives me negative 12. X doesn't combine with anything. It just stays X. What about Y? You're adding negative 2 plus positive 2. So it's 0. So we don't even really need to write that because those basically cancel out. And then P times P to the 4th
it's P5.
is P to the 5th. Over, I'm going to go ahead and write my 3 first. X cubed and X to the 4th. We multiply those and get what?
X7.
X to the 7th. And then P to the 5th and Y. So simplify, negative 12 over 3.
4 over 1.
Negative 4 over 1. X over X to the 7th.
X6.
X to the negative 6. P to the 5th over P to the 5th.
They kill each other.
They cancel each other out to 1. And then I'm left with a Y at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then what's my last step?
Negative denominator.
Bring the negative exponent down to the bottom. So negative 4 over y x to the 6th. Any